In recent developments that have captured the nation's attention, the comprehensive plan has emerged from democratic circles aimed at countering the policies and actions of the Trump administration. As citizens express growing concerns about the direction of governmental decisions, a series of protests is set to unfold this weekend, designed to galvanize public sentiment and assert a robust opposition. The unfolding events reflect an evolution in protest strategy, one that adapts to a media landscape increasingly saturated with conflicting narratives and an electorate yearning for tangible action. Observers note that the energy seen during the tumultuous protests of 2017 is not as readily apparent today, leading to a perception that the current moment is marked by passivity. However, this narrative does not tell the entire story. Isolated incidents, such as the widespread demonstrations at Tesla dealerships, have effectively challenged the status quo, proving that organized dissent still holds substantial influence. This weekend's protest, organized under the banner of the Hands Off Of movement, promises to be a watershed moment. Coordinated efforts by a diverse array of progressive and democratic organizations across all 50 states indicate a determined collective effort to make voices heard against what many view as an authoritarian shift. The premise behind these demonstrations is straightforward yet powerful. The acknowledgement that individuals are not isolated in their dissent, and that unity is a formidable force in the struggle for democratic accountability. The significance of mass mobilization is underscored by the symbolic gesture of Senator Booker's marathon, 25-hour protest on the Senate floor. A singular act that resonated far beyond its immediate context. His prolonged stand was not merely a display of personal conviction, but also a strategic maneuver designed to cut through the incessant media noise. In an era where fleeting viral moments often replace sustained political discourse, Booker's endurance and willingness to put his body on the line sent a clear message. Even in an environment inundated with information, dedicated and unconventional actions can disrupt the prevailing narrative. This protest is more than a spontaneous outburst. It is the culmination of a deliberate strategic shift in how democratic activists are approaching resistance. The organizers have recognized that traditional methods of dissent, while important, may no longer suffice in an era where the mechanisms of communication have evolved dramatically. The objective is to break away from the conventional playbook and adopt innovative tactics that harness both the immediacy of grassroots mobilization and the far-reaching influence of digital media. By integrating coordinated efforts with a compelling narrative that reaches across regional and ideological divides, the organizers are positioning these protests as a critical intervention in a political moment marked by widespread uncertainty. A key insight driving this movement is the understanding that change requires more than isolated acts of defiance. It requires sustained collective action that creates visible, impactful ripples throughout society. The protests are designed not only to challenge the policies of the Trump administration, but also to reinvigorate public participation in the democratic process. When citizens see that they are not alone, that their grievances are shared by a broad spectrum of fellow Americans, they are empowered to contribute to a collective effort that transcends individual limitations. This unified approach is crucial in a time when many feel marginalized by a political system that seems increasingly unresponsive to the needs of ordinary citizens. Moreover, the current strategy draws a significant contrast with the tactics historically employed by Republican operatives. For years, the right has successfully capitalized on incentive structures that encouraged supporters to propagate favorable narratives. An entire ecosystem was built around the cult of personality that emerged during Trump's first presidency, where writing books and promoting positive portrayals of the leader became a lucrative endeavor. Every time a pro-Trump book appeared on bestseller lists, it reinforced the notion that there was a guaranteed audience eager for such content. In stark contrast, the approach embraced by the progressive movement today is rooted in a commitment to direct, unfiltered action that seeks to bypass traditional media gatekeepers. By demonstrating that transformative change is possible through bold, unconventional means, these protests aim to inspire a new model of political engagement, one that is both dynamic and inclusive. The broader implications of these events extend far beyond the immediate context of any single protest. They represent a pivotal moment in the ongoing struggle to redefine how political dissent is expressed and perceived. With a strategy that emphasizes large-scale collective action, the movement is poised to generate a cascade of impacts on public discourse. The planned demonstrations serve as a catalyst for a renewed sense of community and shared purpose, countering the pervasive narrative of isolation and resignation that has taken hold in some segments of the electorate. The strategic use of social media in tandem with live, in-person protest is another critical element of this evolving approach. Viral videos and real-time updates on platforms such as TikTok and Twitter have the potential to amplify the reach of the protests, drawing attention from audiences who might not otherwise be engaged in political activism. This digital component not only extends the impact of the demonstrations, but also facilitates the formation of an interconnected network of activists who are capable of mobilizing quickly and effectively. It is this synergy between online and offline activism that could redefine the parameters of political engagement in the years ahead. At its core, the movement is driven by a deeply held belief in the power of individual agency when it is harnessed for a collective purpose. The act of taking to the streets is not merely a symbolic gesture, but a concrete assertion that democracy remains a participatory endeavour, one in which every citizen has the right and the responsibility to make their voice heard. The organisers stress that the protests are an invitation to action for every American who is willing to challenge the prevailing dynamics of power. By joining together, participants are not only expressing their dissent, but also affirming the fundamental principle that democracy is sustained by the active involvement of its people. This comprehensive approach to protest is designed to create a ripple effect across the nation. It is a call to re-engage with the democratic process, to bridge the gap between abstract political debates and the lived experiences of citizens. In a time when many feel overwhelmed by the complexities of modern governance and the rapid pace of political change, the protests offer a tangible means of reclaiming agency and participating in a larger narrative of resistance. The energy generated by these events is expected to influence not just the political discourse of today, but also the trajectory of future policy debates and electoral campaigns. In conclusion, the nationwide protests scheduled for this weekend represent a decisive moment in the ongoing battle for democratic values. They are a testament to the resilience of a citizenry that refuses to be silenced in the face of overwhelming challenges. By engaging in collective action, individuals are taking a stand that transcends personal limitations and contributes to a larger, transformative movement. The organisers underscore that this is not merely a reaction to recent political events. It is a proactive measure aimed at redefining how democracy is practiced in the modern era. So, for those watching and contemplating their role in this pivotal moment, the message is clear. Step forward and be part of a community dedicated to effecting real change. The Hands Off protest invites every citizen to look online, find local events, and join the movement, a call that resonates with the conviction that every voice matters. In the wake of significant electoral victories, such as the recent win in Wisconsin, there is a palpable sense of momentum that promises to carry forward into future political contests. As the nation moves toward the 2026 political landscape, this surge of collective action signals not only resistance, but also hope. A hope that through unified effort, the trajectory of American governance can be steered toward a more equitable and responsive future. Furthermore, the impact of these protests is expected to extend well beyond the immediate political arena. They serve as a reminder that the power to shape public policy lies not solely in the hands of elected officials or media moguls, but in the collective will of the people. As this report highlights the strategic evolution in protest tactics and the renewed energy among citizens, it is evident that this movement is more than a temporary outburst. It is an integral part of a larger process aimed at reinvigorating democratic engagement. In a time of rapid change and persistent challenges, the call to action is both timely and essential. By participating in the protests and contributing to the broader narrative of resistance, Americans are not just reacting to current events, they are actively shaping the future of their nation. For viewers seeking further information and opportunities to engage, resources such as Democracy Docket offer an ongoing platform dedicated to reporting on voting, elections, and the evolving political landscape. This investigative report, therefore, serves as both an account of a significant moment in political activism and a call to arms for all who believe in the power of democracy. The upcoming protests stand as a testament to the enduring strength of collective action and the unwavering commitment of citizens to challenge authority when it diverges from the values of accountability, transparency, and justice. In this moment of historical significance, every individual's contribution matters. The path forward is one of unity, innovation, and resolute determination, a path that promises to reshape the contours of American political discourse for years to come.